So welcome. Let us first present ourselves, and maybe Sini, can you maybe start by introducing yourself, who you are?
Yes, hi, my name is Frini. I'm originally from Greece. I grew up in Germany, so I'm pretty close to the Netherlands. I'm a third-year student. I just finished my first internship at a company for the first semester of this year. And right now I'm continuing with the graduation process. So I'm working on graduation assignments in the second semester. And yeah, next year I'll be doing my graduation internship and my minor. So it's pretty exciting. 3 years at Avans. So I think I'm pretty experienced with the model. So you can trust I have a lot of answers to your questions.
Good. Thank you very much, Frini. You're exactly right in the middle of the of your study, so you can either tell about your experiences in the past, but also what you're also looking ahead in the next couple of, the next year and a half, basically. Yeah. Thank you very much. Also, Nuno, welcome.
Yes, thanks. My name is Nuno. I'm 25. I'm from Portugal. I'm also on the third year. I'm also a third year student at Avans. I did do a year at Fontes before Avans, so if anyone has questions about why I prefer Avans, go ahead. Yeah, I just finished my internship as well, where I traveled to Qatar through my internship. So I was there for a week on a business trip, and and I'm planning to do my internship and my minor abroad as well. So the opportunity exists.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Nuno. Thank you very much. And on the left side, that's me, of course. I'm Michel Janssen. I'm a business coach at Avans International Business. Like a lot of coaches, I have quite an extensive international background in both large corporations, but also very small companies, but always international. I've traveled and worked the world from Japan to Argentina and from the Middle East to Canada. So a lot of places, and I'm a business coach, which we will explain to you in a minute. And I'm also a language coach at the same time. So see here some interesting facts and data. In total, there are about 850 students in total, distributed over the 4 years. And if you would start in the first year, you would be part of about 200 students, as we call them, starting professionals. We'll explain to you later why we do that. So what does the international business in s-Hertogenbosch entails? First of all, the study program, a small overview of basically, let's say, the key topics. You would be going from a regular conventional school, most likely, to an IB community. I will explain that also later on. We are not teachers, so we will not be sending a lot of information, but we will coach you through the process, coach and guide you on the process in accomplishing real-life company projects, so real-life company assignments. You will be going from an individual, from a standard program into an individual learning path, meaning that you can really design your own learning path and design your own program based on the modules that you choose. And we don't use exams, so there's no regular exams throughout the year, but they're integrated assessments, meaning that you will be assessed, elaborated, and also graded on project parts and eventually the full project. And we will basically assess you 360 based on important aspects in which we will grade you on, of course. And we all try to do this with the impact respect. So not only the coaches, but also yourself. Yes, let's go to the following. The structure of the program. In this program, you'll learn about analyzing the international business, real-life assignments for real companies. The spear points of our education is marketing and sales and communication. These are the three, let's say, main topics. And the subjects that we are basically dealing with of all disciplines are finance, research, sales, marketing, logistics, organization, etc. Yeah, so we will touch upon these educational concepts throughout your 4 year of study. By the way, guys, Nuno and Frizzy, if you want to interrupt me with anything, please do so. If I miss anything or you want to add something, go ahead. Just interrupt me.
Yeah.
So these are the 4 specialization profiles. These are basically the 4 disciplines that you can choose from. We will explain also a bit later on how we will distribute these concepts throughout the years. But basically, we offer a creation, which is a marketing-oriented discipline. It's all about creating. So the concept itself says so already. It's about creation and innovation of new products, of marketing, communication campaigns, concepts, etc. Then we have deal making, which is all about sales, closing a deal, preparing sales proposals, executing sales negotiations, etc. Identification is all about raw data analysis, combining internal, external data, raw data, and detailed data into valuable data. Base your analysis upon this and give advice. And the 4th one, but last one, is connection. That's all about the organizational aspects of a company. So analyzing processes, optimizing processes, and improving the communication and cooperation within the business. So these are the 3 components of the program. Later on, we will have a nice visual of what this looks like from a concept point of view. But we have basically business coaching, leadership coaching. So business coaching is really about the content, but the business part of the real life assignments. The personal leadership coaching is really about you as a professional or as a starting professional in terms of development, in terms of your what different roles you could take upon when working in groups, and how you perform as a business professional. And the business communication is all about the languages and the way you communicate, the way you convey messages to stakeholders or the target group, for example. So business coaching, it's all about projects, basically. So these are real life projects. So companies, they kick off the project by giving a presentation and explaining their business assignment to the group. And then you will be guided by your coach throughout the process, all the way up to the end. And it's all about collaboration, so working in groups, conducting and analyzing research, and immediately applying the knowledge. Because Avans is called the University of Applied Science. So what we do in these projects, that we really apply the already developed science on a scientific basis and apply these into practical real life projects. And yeah, maybe Nuno, can maybe explain your own experience of how you experience, let's say, such a process in business. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
So like you mentioned, there are 4 different types of projects that we follow, and then after the 2nd year, you get to choose which ones you want to go deeper into it. In my case, I chose connection and deal making. Since I am more of a sales guy, my internship was also focused on sales, and it was exactly what I wanted to follow. The fact that we follow projects and that there are no exams, and you actually get to collaborate with people with a lot of experience, not only the coaches but also the people from the company itself that you get information from, and you ultimately give a presentation to. You learn a lot, and it is something that you can use for future internships, and throughout your professional life.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Nuno. Then you have personal leadership coaching, which is equally important, I think, as a business professional, because when in business coaching we look all about the content and the commercial part of business, this is really about you as a person, so you as a business professional. It's all about the personal growth. You will dedicate a lot of hours and assignments working with your fellow students, but also with the coach in developing your hard and your soft skills. So all about how to combine basically those skills and get the most out of yourself as a business professional. Leadership skills, very important, but not less important are also the supporting skills, because not everybody's a leader and you're not always a leader. So in some projects or in some corporations, you might be better in supporter because it's not your speciality or your core discipline. So both roles are important, and at Avans International Business, we dedicate a lot of time to both of them. So not only leadership skills. About reflection, personal reflection. So how do you see yourself? How do others see you and you see others? So it's a lot of interaction with fellow students to discuss that. So that's really nice. Sometimes it's a bit confrontating, but at the same time, it's very learningful. And the interaction with different cultures. Yeah. So, Vrini, do you have some experience in personal leadership coaching? Do you have something that really stood out or that you found useful in these sessions?
Well, I really enjoy personal leadership coaching. I really like that in the study we really focus on ourselves as well. That's very different from another study that I've done, and where they really solely just focus on business and profit and all these things. And it's just my personality that I really enjoy the PLC sessions, because I believe that we need to be our best selves in order to lead a team, and we are going to be the future of this generation right now. So it's really nice to kind of build in these really good qualities that will further lead you to a just effective future, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's really great.
Are you right now in your traineeship, Vrini? Or
no, right now I'm doing my the graduation. So not the graduation internship, but the part where we have our assignments and we need to kind of prepare a thesis.
Okay, yeah.
I'm doing that right now. And
okay.
I also have to say that I used a lot of PLC skills during my internship, which I wouldn't have thought at all. I thought that it's never going to come to use, but when I was doing PLC during my internship, I really felt like I'm tracking my my progress also as developing as a professional. I've learned so much during my internship, and in PLC I could really reflect on that, and my PLC coach could also see how I've grown in only 6 months. So
yeah, and I think thank you for let's elaborating on that, because these three pillars are not there for nothing. They have a reason for being there. So business coaching, personal leadership, but also international business communication, because you can have a lot of knowledge, you can have a lot of let's say knowledge about a certain subject, but if you're not able to convey the message like we practice in business communication, but if you also not feel really secure in an organization about yourself or your role within the bigger organization, it's very difficult to get connected. And it's all about connection within the organization. So those three pillars are very important, and that's why we manage them. And the last one, of course, is the business communication. This is where you learn. It's all about the languages. So next to English, you can also choose to do German, French, or Spanish. This pillar is also connected to business coaching and to PLC, because here you deal with the projects, but then in a different language. So you start to present maybe part of your project in this particular language, or you have to let's say deal with a certain subject of the of the project within a meeting in that language, etc. So we really try to connect all those three pillars as much as we can. So in year one, you can basically choose, or not, you cannot choose. You will basically be receiving all 4 disciplines to get acquainted and to get a feeling of what it entails, what it contains, and whether you like it or not. So this is creation. This is all about creativity, innovation, and it can be either, let's say, develop a new product for a company that has to be introduced in a foreign country, or maybe even do a small communication campaign for that company. So here are some examples on the screen about what that could be. So for example, a new optimized product for France that needs to be developed in terms of taste, naming, pricing, packaging maybe. Then we have deal making. An example here is a producer of electronics that wants to close a deal with a multinational in London. I personally did this one. It is all about the bigger touchscreens that are developed for both educational institutes, but also for commercial companies. In this case, it was a Unilever in London. And here you need to come up with an advice on how to, let's say, introduce this project for a new office that Unilever would open within 1.5 years in London. And that's a first year project, so they are actually very exciting ones, as from the beginning. The same goes for identification and connection. So you will have 4 weeks of 4 periods of 10 weeks, in which you'll be doing these four exciting projects. So the other one is the identification, also 10 weeks, where you will do the dealing with all about business data and coming up with a valuable advice based on that on the new insights you got from those data, and advise the company what to do next. And connection, like I explained, this is all about the organization of the company. So internal processes and how to optimize the performance of the organization of a company. So you got a nice overview of what a week could look like. So you have a lot of project working. 3 times a week you will meet to work in projects. You work on your personal development, on your intercommunication skills, but you also have workshops. We organize guest speakers, etc. So maybe, Nuno, how was it for you to come from conventional education as like a regular school to a business school with a concept like this? How did you feel about this?
For me, it was a big difference. Like I mentioned, I did a year at Fontes before I decided to move to Avans. And Fontes is it's very classical, very normal with exams and way of teaching. And when I changed to Avans, I really felt like this was a place where I was going to finish my study, because you get a lot of support from everyone, from the coaches. Since you work in projects, you learn a lot from your colleagues as well, and it truly is a very good model. I'm not saying this just because I'm representing Avans, but it really helped me.
What did you find difficult, Nuno? Because maybe it's also a big difference between conventional let's say education and this one. What did it require for, let's say, for your structure or for your self-discipline? And sometimes, I mean, it might be easy to stay in bed instead of going to class. So how did you deal with that?
Yeah, the conventional way is just going and following classes. So in case you don't want to go or you don't feel go, you won't really miss it. But when it comes to exams, that you will see that you really missed it. Here with projects, you really feel like you have an obligation, and you really feel like you have an obligation to yourself, to your colleagues, to your coaches, as you work in projects, and you really have to work on your time management, and you have to work on being structured when it comes to the projects, because a lot of people depend on you. Not only you depend on yourself.
Yeah, that's true. So there's a lot of self-discipline is needed in order to do this program. That's one thing. So this is I think a very simple and clear overview of what the first let's say after the first year would look like. So the last 3 years. So in year 2 you will have achieved deepening. So out of the 4 modules you choose 2. Which you will do then on level 2, which will be the company assignments will be more vague. They will be less clear to you. So we expect more in-depth analysis and more digging into information, or to really understand the project and enable yourself to come up with a very solid advice. And you can choose from the 4 modules. You can use 2, so you the one you would like the most. And then, for example, in Nuno's case, he chose deal making and what was the other one? Identification. Nuno, was it?
It was deal making and connection.
Connection. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Connection. Yeah. Then in year 3 and 4, this is basically something which you can really do yourself. So you can also start in the first semester with your minor and do, for example, then your internship and then do your graduation internship. By now we have also a 4th module, which is futures and resilience. And this is really a new model that we developed, which is let's say, the basis for you to do your graduation traineeship or your internship. So you can switch a lot. But the only sequence that we ask is to do the futures and resilience module before you graduate, because this is really a prepping module. But all the other stuff you can change whenever you want. Yeah, so it's really up to you how you can organize this. And also it depends. Sometimes it's very difficult to find your internship, but you did find a place where to do your minor first. Well, then you do your minor first, and then you do your internship afterwards. Yeah. How is it for you, Vrini, to organize things? How is it for a international business student to find, let's say, partner universities to do your minor, or find a company to do your traineeship or your internship?
Well, until now, I don't have something secure for both. But I do want to do my graduation internship in Spain. So I found a company that helps you with that, and you just pay them a deposit and they pay you back. So it's for free, which is perfect. Because I did get a lot of feedback, people telling me that it's difficult to get a graduation internship outside of the Netherlands. And since I already did my internship here, I really want to go abroad and have that experience. So until now, nothing is really secure, but I hope it will be fine. And I chose for a partner university of Avans, so that's a lot easier than choosing a university myself and paying the tuition fees there. So you do get a lot of help from Avans, which is really great. And I love the fact that I can switch them and kind of adapt it to my life and my goals. So I could choose whether I want to do my internship now or later. So I'm really thankful for that.
And do you also apply your network? Is there a way you can really, let's say, use your network to achieve something, maybe? Like
my network,
from friends or colleagues, or?
I haven't started. I actually didn't. I thought about it recently, but I'm sure that it's easy to find, or it's easier to find internship through LinkedIn. My first internship was actually through LinkedIn. Like they messaged me, and then I got an internship in a week, like months before it actually started. So I was really lucky. But LinkedIn is really a miracle work for those things. I have to say, it's great for jobs, for internships. I'm really happy that it's so popular in the Netherlands, because it's not as popular in other countries. So we're really lucky to have it.
Yeah, good. Good for you, Vrini. All right. And this is an overview, you know, of the various combinations that you can think of. Like I explained, you can move around the models that you do according to your own taste, or to the things that come across that come on your path, in order to do it in a certain sequence. So it's a very flexible, in a nutshell. So Avans is all about international. So you do your internship, your minor, your graduation internship, and 2 out of 3 you're expected to do abroad. You can choose, but to maintain the international aspect of our study, we ask you to do 2 out of 3 of these concepts abroad. So, well, if there's a match, that basically depends on both of us. So, if you are a curious and international, entrepreneurial, spirit-like person, you like a challenge, and you're also very proactive, you like to organize things, you're an undertaking person, then there's very much the chance that there will be a match. And well, we offer a very international environment with different countries and cultures. You see what the SPs that are present at this orientation webinar are also international people. So and there's a lot of people, both coaches and students, who have an international background or are from a country outside of the Netherlands. And so we have Mexican people, we have Colombian coaches, we have people from China, we have Italian. We also have I think from people from France, from Germany. So yeah, there's coaches. There's all coaches. I'm not talking about the students. So these are just examples. You see here on the right side the LinkedIn profiles, but these are the basically the profiles or the jobs that you can think of. Okay, so marketing manager, maybe also a buyer, sales manager, business analyst, market researching, etc. Well, some facts and figures. They see about almost 100% finds a job that fits their IB program. About a quarter will do a follow-up master program, which is also possible, of course. But in the end, out of 2 out of 3 SPs find a job right after graduation. So why IB International? Business in Den Bosch. Well, we are very proud that we are the best University of Applied Science in the Netherlands, I think for the past 6 or 7 years now. Again, last year in 2021. As you can see on the right side, this is a very small building, only 3 or 4 floors, 2 wings only, and it's very close to the station Plein. So somebody walked it and timed his trip from the upper level to one of the train station. What's called in English, it's andenes in Spanish. It took about 1 minute. Or 1 minute, 10 seconds or so. So it's very close to the station. We're extremely agile, organized school. So what we demand from our students to be agile and organized people, we also aim to be ourselves. So that's what we are. We will be guided by coaches, and of course you can develop your own learning path. So this is some basic info to sign up. If you sign up, if you decide to subscribe to our educational program, that can be until I think that May, somewhere the 1st of May, I believe, is the 1st of June for non-EU and 1st of August for EU members. If you do so, there will be a small intake call. This is not an admission call, so it's not like you have to pass something in order to be accepted. But the basic requirements are, I think they're somewhere on the website for us to check. But basically, when you have a HAVO or a prepping school, then you will be accepted at Avans University. And I think that's about it. There's some difference maybe between, and this is also quite important, if you are appealed to the project-oriented educational concept by coaches, then IB-Den-Bosch is the place to be. If you think, well, I'm more of a person that would like to receive a conventional program and conventional education by regular classes and exams, books, etc. And there's also a bit more focused on the international trade and supply, then Breda could also be an option for you, and something that will really ask you to compare, because this also might be interesting for you. So that's about it. This is the digital magazine that we have available for you guys, and that it's available online as well. So maybe some last experiences, Trini, do you have some last tips or experiences you would like to share with our students?
Well, for those who choose to join Avans in Den Bosch, I would just say trust the process, because we were also, so both me and Nuno are the first class that ever had this type of IB. So we were really the newborns, and everyone didn't know what to do and how to do it because everything was super vague. So it does get better, and you do learn to be proactive. And I have seen during my internship that even if in the beginning I need to learn how to be proactive and take my own initiative into learning and doing my assignments for the project, that's exactly what people will ask from you when you are at a company. Both my mentors were like, wow, you're so proactive, you take so much initiative, you don't ask us a million questions, you find the answers alone. And that's exactly what our coaches teach us. So in the end, all the frustration that we had really pays off. I can say that. So
yeah, and this is also the way why this program was designed, because in business you will not report to teachers, you will report to managers.
Exactly.
And that is what we teach what we coach our students to do. That's when they enter into business, that they really are able to work with vague concepts, because sometimes in business it's not very clear what you need to do. But based on your attitude and on your entrepreneurial spirit and the way you be proactive, a lot of the students, they are successful as from the beginning, because they really fit into a company in such a way that they're, let's say, on track right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that, for sure.
All right, Nuno, and maybe some last famous words from your side, Nuno.
Yeah, of course. It really is. It was a great opportunity to start Avans, and I've grown as a person and as a professional, and that can really be seen through the feedback that you get from coaches. Because obviously you might get to know a coach in the first year that will still be your coach in the third year, which is one of my cases, for example. And we've had conversations, and they really let us know how much we grow and the things that we still need to work on, of course. But yeah, it is a really good program, and it just makes you be hands-on, and you get a lot of experience rather than just reading it from a book.
Yeah. Well spoken, Nuno. That's exactly what it's how it should be. Should be. Okay, so we leave the line still open until 7:45. So for those who are still present, you can still ask your questions via the chat, and Nuno and Trini will answer those to their best possibility.
Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions.
Someone asked about Den Bosch, the city. I personally don't live in Den Bosch. I live in Eindhoven. It's not really far from it, but Den Bosch is very beautiful. It looks really beautiful. The whole city center, going for a walk, it's really nice. But I personally don't know how it is to live there. I know that Eindhoven is very international. I don't know how it is in Den Bosch. But yeah, that's all I can say. There was a nice cafe by the river, and you can sit by the water. So
yeah, Den Bosch is
one
like
nice
a
thing.
it's like sort of it's very old city, so it's a very like a medieval type of city with a lot of bars, with a lot of restaurants, a lot of culture and history, and especially in spring and in summer, there's a lot of terraces, a lot of students running around the city center. So it's a very active, small scale city.
I unfortunately I don't live in Den Bosch. I live in Eindhoven as well. It just, for me, it just made more sense because I used to live in Helmond, which is a bit further away from Den Bosch. Helmond is also a smaller city.
Yeah.
And it's completely different from Den Bosch. So Eindhoven was a good middle to.
Yeah. And there's a question: if you could maybe explain again why you choose to change from one university to the other? What was the reason that you?
At Fontes, it is very conventional. You have lectures. You have, I don't know, maybe like 3-4 lectures a day, where you sit for 1 hour, 1 hour and 30 minutes just listening. Obviously, you have to take notes and everything, and then at the end of the period of the semester, you have exams. And it was very management based. Here at Avans, it's project based, of course. And you really get more practice. You really get involved in projects. You deal with real companies, and I feel like I've learned a lot more than I was learning at the other university.
Thank you.
Avans is also more international, so it is not as much as management based. It's more of an international and the intercultural experience that you have throughout your study. So
yeah. All right. So take your time, guys. If there are any questions popping up. There's another question from Aaron. It's about I don't know what the ELTS is. That
It's an official document for if you have Cambridge English, like I don't know, B2, C1, you get it from the IELTS. But I can't answer that question. I don't know.
No, but you need a certain level of English from international diplomas. I think that I think when you send us your diploma, there will be an internal check. But usually we don't demand extreme high levels of English. That's absolutely not a problem. We of course do recommend some basic level English because we also experience a lot of students that come in and find it a bit difficult to do the classes, do the sessions, and talk to each other in English. But you will get used to this within a week or so. So there's no high initial demand of a certain level of English.
Yeah. You also get English classes throughout your study, so you can always work on improve your English with it. I just seen a question. I seen a question. How hard? Or was it hard to get used to the Dutch culture? So personally, I've been living here for 7 years, 7.5 years now. I was 18 when I came here. Maybe the age that most of you are, since you're applying. It wasn't necessarily hard. However, it was a shock because Portuguese culture and Dutch culture is very different. I had to get used to a lot. But if you surround yourself with the right people, you will feel welcome, and it will be a lot easier for you to really integrate in the culture.
And something that's really great for when you just came to the country is that you can really speak English everywhere, which makes it very easy to live here. I understand a lot of Dutch, but I've not been in any situation where I really had to speak it, which is a very big privilege, because if you would move to Germany, I grew up there, and if I bring a friend from here to Germany, everyone looks at you like, oh, it's an alien, we can't speak to you, it's in English. And I can't even imagine studying there as abroad. So it's a really, really nice thing, because it makes it a lot easier to live here. You already have to deal with living away from home, so it's nice that at least you can get anything done, even the government thinks, in English. So that's really nice about the Netherlands.
Was it hard to find some accommodation near Avans? Yeah, like we said, we both live in Eindhoven. Yeah, we don't really have experience in finding accommodation in Den Bosch or close to Avans. However, for Eindhoven, I lived with my family before I moved to Eindhoven, and it took me around 3 months, always applying every week to get housing. I have to say that I found the perfect place in the city center in Eindhoven, but it can be complicated, yeah.
Yeah, like in most cities, housing is scarce. But it's some students find it within a couple of days or a week. Others are it takes a few weeks or a few months. That depends really on your luck and on the effort that you put in. But it's all doable, of course. All students eventually find a home, a place to stay.
Also, as a student, can be complicated because most of the times you cannot provide an income that is required to be able to rent places. But there are websites, there are companies that are more open to students, like Holland to Stay, which is my case. There are a few other ones, but in this case, Holland to Stay, which you don't have to provide income. Since we're students, obviously we can't really have 4 times the rent as an income. But as a student, you can rent the places.
Yeah.
Someone asked if the university helps with internships, and personally, I didn't need to, but I know that a lot of people that didn't have an internship, especially due to COVID, a lot of companies didn't even want interns. At least a month before, if you really don't have any internship, there are a lot of vacancies that teachers or coaches post. So if you really need help, there is going to be help, of course. And the business, the Instagram account is also really active with that. So I remember during the internship time, they were posting a lot of vacancies, or they were just kind of posting a little how to find an internship, and they were posting a lot of pages where you can find internships. So you can definitely get some help. You're not completely alone. If you're desperate and you can't find anything, for sure there will be help. So that's not a problem.
Yeah.
And difficult to adapt to the climate. I really can't speak from experience because I grew up in Germany. It's the same. I still hate it, even though I know it since I'm 2 years old, but I still don't like cold and the rain. But I can imagine if you're from Bulgaria or a warmer country, it probably will take some time, but you have to enjoy the gloomy days too.
Well, I've lived 18 years of my life in Portugal. The weather is very different. just to have an idea, today was 20 degrees in Portugal in February, where I'm used to the sun. I've lost a lot of my skin color because I used to be a lot darker, and unfortunately I did create a vitamin D deficiency because of the lack of sun. But you get used to it. Obviously, it's colder, but you get used to it. That's not a big problem.
There's one pending question about the why you guys choose s-Hertogenbosch over Breda. So remember.
I was also before at Fontes, and I knew that Breda and Fontes are very similar. So I personally didn't want the model like at Fontes. So obviously I chose for Avans because it was very difficult. And I didn't even look at the website, to be honest. I didn't even check Breda at all. I just immediately went to Avans, also because I already lived in Eindhoven, so it was obviously a lot closer to my home. I didn't need to move since I have the free student train ticket. So that was my reason. I didn't even check Breda. Sorry.
Same here. Yeah, Frini and I were colleagues at Fontes, and we just didn't check Breda, and we just went off us because we knew someone. At least I knew someone that was a student, and they told me more about the program, and yeah, I just didn't have second thoughts, and I just went.
Yep. Hey guys, we have come at the end of the session. It doesn't mean that it ends here, but you are, of course, allowed to leave if you need to leave or if you want to go, and you can also stay if you have some pending questions. Of course, you will post to us.
And I think you can also see our names through the chat. I think the chat remains there after you leave the session. So if you want to message us, have any questions privately, that's not a problem at all. So just, yeah, you can always text us if you can see the chat still. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I will share it's probably easier. I'll share my LinkedIn profile. So if anyone still has questions, they can always send me a message through there, and I'll be happy to answer as well.
So we will wait for 1 or 2 minutes more for questions to come in. And
as you guys probably noticed, sorry, Michelle.
No, go ahead, Nuno.
I was just saying, you guys have noticed that we used LinkedIn in order to communicate. Start working on your LinkedIn since the beginning, because, for example, finding an internship, it can be crucial. It can be very important to start building your network. It was thanks to my network they also got my internship, so it's always good to start working as early as possible.
Yeah.